So, here we go.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
You're listening to the Midnight Movie Gang. My name's Elsie Hines. I'm your host.
I'm Joseph F. Arthurs.
Yeah. And this is episode 6 of Midnight Movie Gang.
Yeah.
And it's, what time is it? It's an hour till midnight.
Yeah. It's like, so we're almost there.
Almost Midnight Movie Gang.
Yeah.
I think last episode, me and Courtney got to actual midnight
Oh, wow.
for Midnight Movie Gang.
Nice.
It was real special.
It's a milestone.
And we're here to talk about a certain Chinese filmmaker. Made his transition, started making action movies in Hong Kong, and then transferred to America and had quite a few big hits in America. Mr. John Woo.
Yeah.
We watched 2 of his movies tonight.
Me for the first time. My exposure to John Woo is extremely limited outside of Max Payne, which is something that he influenced very heavily, which is very apparent after watching these movies.
Yeah, especially after watching Hard Boiled.
Yeah, Hard Boiled specifically. I don't know so much about Face Off.
Yeah, he's got a hell of a... He's directed a lot of movies. We're looking at his Wikipedia page right now. And,
Yeah, wow.
Just so
Good
many.
Lord.
Yeah. Hard Boiled was his last... Hong Kong... I think he made other movies in China, like, afterwards. But it was... His first American-made movie was Hard Target.
Oh, okay. Which you
was-
said is kind of like a soft remake of Hard Boiled.
Yeah, it's like a very similar
Oh, Van Damme.
type of thing. Yeah, Van Damme is the main dude.
Does he do the splits in that one too? Like he does in every other movie he's in?
Probably. I haven't seen that one.
Sad.
After looking at his filmography, I must say I wish I was more in knowledge, because all I've seen of John Woo is, well, Mission Impossible 2, and then the 2 movies we watched tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I hadn't seen any of his stuff, but Hard Boiled rocked my ass. It was fucking awesome.
Really liked it, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's the one we'll talk about first. So do you want to try to give a synopsis of, like, if someone asked you what is Hard Boiled about, what would you tell them?
Hard Boiled is about a guy named Detective Tequila who he dual wields 2 pistols and looks like a total badass.
Yeah, he's just awesome the whole way through.
And he helps his buddy that's an undercover cop, and they take on the Hong Kong underworld of arms traffickers in the most explosively unsafe way possible.
Yeah.
And also, I don't have any idea what happened in this movie, but it was fucking awesome.
Yeah. They really try to combat the sale of guns by shooting a bunch of guns.
Yeah, there are. Can we get is there any official stat for the body count in this movie? Because
there must be. I can look it up.
oh my god, so many people die in this
Yeah.
movie. It is insane.
In a variety of ways.
It is insane, and just constant civilians, cops, gangsters. Everybody just gets blown away, and no one just gets shot once either. Everyone gets shot a minimum of 5 times. And that's like the floor.
I typed in how many people die in Hard Boiled, and it auto-corrected to Hard Target. And that's shameful.
Google being biased.
307 deaths, apparently.
Oh my god.
307 people died on
We
screen.
watched 307 people die tonight
Yeah.
in one movie
In a movie.
alone. Yeah.
Yeah, no, so that's essentially the plot. I mean, basically, so it all kind of spawns from, it's pretty much a revenge story as far...
Yeah.
There's, I feel like when we were watching the movie, there's definitely elements of noir in the...
Big time.
In, the style of it.
The soundtrack, the neon.
Yeah. But it's not really necessarily, a mystery.
No, not really. There are twists.
Yeah.
There's a couple twists that got me pretty good.
There's really only one big twist.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you get about halfway through the movie, and then from then on, it's just kind of proceeding with that knowledge onward.
Right.
You know?
Now, do you want to do the tea thing?
Oh, yeah, no. So, what tea are we drinking today? What tea do you got, Joseph?
Today I have Yogi Elderberry Immune Support. As you can hear in my voice, I'm getting over a cold.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that's not too grating for the people listening.
No, I'm sure it's fine. it makes your voice a little bit more somber,
A little more
bassy.
intimate.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's a good tea for that. That's the immunity stress tea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was drinking that 2 weeks ago when I had a cold, and it was real helpful.
It's delicious.
I'm just drinking Bigelow decaffeinated green tea.
Nice.
And it's pretty good.
I love green tea.
I'm a big fan of green teas. The best tea we have though is a caffeinated ginger peach tea.
Ooh.
And it's fucking badass. It's like a green tea base.
Oh, I love peach and tea, dude.
Yeah, it's not very gingery, but it's very peachy.
Mm,
And it's quite good.
that sounds amazing.
Yeah, but
Anyway,
but basically back to the movie. So Tequila played amazingly by my boy Chow Yun-Fat,
Young Fat.
who just absolute beast in this movie.
Oh, he's so likable. It's insane.
Yeah, no, he's really charming in this movie.
Is like this like schlubby guy, and like he'll see like the most violent, and he'll be doing the most violent action movie stuff, and he'll just like it's clearly just another day to him.
Yeah, he's just so monotonous. Like
He's just a guy at work. It's great.
there's a scene where like he comes on to like a really violent crime scene in a library, and he's just like
He's just holding a hot dog.
yeah, he's just like eating a burger or whatever, like a sandwich out of a wrapper,
Just
like
munching on it. Yeah.
while he's like inspecting this dead body, and it's just
Clearly
like
doesn't care. I love it.
nothing to him. Yeah, it's a thing where it's like, so I'd only seen this movie once before, and I kind of was like only really half paying attention to it, like when I did, to the point where like I didn't get a whole lot of the story.
Yeah.
And another element too, like that I really picked up on this time, I really appreciated the soundtrack a lot more.
Yeah.
It's got a pretty killer.
You know, I noticed that we were talking about the noir influences in the soundtrack. It's a lot more jazzy in the first half. I noticed, like the first half is full of like these like crazy sax licks and like this like jazz beats, and then like halfway through it, like hard switches to just like this orchestral like
Yeah.
like action movie stuff.
Yeah, the 80s action movie, Terminator-y.
Yeah,
James
echoey
Cameron
drums and stuff.
with horns and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it definitely did kind of switch gears
Yeah, it went from neo noir to action.
in tone for sure.
Oh man, that first scene kicked ass.
The first set piece. There's a lot of really good. I forgot just how many good action set pieces are. Like I feel like they give you just enough time between each action like scene.
Oh yeah.
Like to where just when you're kind of starting to get a little bit bored or being like itching for another one, they throw
Yeah.
in them, and they're all great.
Yeah, the pacing is amazing. I love,
Yeah.
and it's constantly building tension between scenes too, in like a really effective way. And when the action actually does kick off, it is something to behold.
Yeah.
Even in like, if we're comparing these two movies, his Hong Kong stuff a lot more visually interesting to me,
Oh no, absolutely.
action wise.
For a wide variety of reasons.
Oh yeah, probably for like not very ethical reasons, like you mentioned before.
No, bad reasons for sure. Like a big part of like, so a big thing. So like, you ever watch Stuntmen React on that Corridor?
Yeah, a little bit.
So they've talked about how like in Hong Kong, if you're a stuntman in Hong Kong and you don't appear on screen, you don't get paid.
Wow.
Yeah. So like a part of like what that means is that like when these, stuntmen, stunt women in these movies are like doing a big stunt or like going for something, they're really giving it their 100% all because they're just like, I'm trying to get paid.
These guys are working hard, and you can see it, and that it's sad knowing why.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, wow, these guys are professionals.
It's so impressive. And like if you look at it, I've been trying to really get into like a lot more kind of martial arts films and like Asian cinema in general. I just got the Jackie Chan, the new Criterion Jackie Chan like early Blu-ray box set, and it's just like with Jackie in particular, by the point where he was kind of at his peak with his movies, kind of like early 90s ish, early mid 90s, he has a specific team of stunt people, like the same guys that like he's fighting over and over again, and they all just like know each other physically so well.
Wow.
And that's
So they can play off each other really easily.
exactly, like they know like all the beats they can do, they know all like the different kind of moves they can do, what they can take, and like with that he's able to just coordinate these like incredible physical,
That's great.
scenes that are like way less like a fight and more like a dance, and I feel like John Woo and his directing style is kind of like he's taking, like, he takes a lot of what makes martial arts movies and like fight scenes in a traditional sense and what makes them entertaining, and that like seeing the limits of what the human body can do,
Right.
but giving us that with guns.
Oh yeah. And I mean, like, when we talk about these stuntmen, isn't the ballerina type, like, what's the word? Balletics, is that a word?
What do you mean?
Just them flipping around and doing this like super graceful like gymnastics in the air
The choreography.
to react to them getting hit is insane. Like the physicality of it,
Yeah.
the speed with which that they move is it's insane, and it adds to
The energy on screen.
the kineticism of it all. That in addition to all these crazy particles flying everywhere, getting shot, like everything that gets shot. You said like everything that gets shot in these scenes ends up exploding and
Yeah.
flying all over the screen. And I love it. I love how full of motion the whole frame is.
There's always paper and glass.
It's just
and,
chaos. It's like a real, like, it's what you want to see in a gunfight. It's like a full energetic release of all that tension that's been building up. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's funny that like when we watch this movie, we could tell like whenever something like if the set is too clean,
Yeah.
like if it looks like this seems
Yeah.
this area seems like it was freshly built, like it's
Yeah.
getting blown the fuck apart.
They were giving a tour of that hospital, and we're like, wow, these walls are really clean. Wow, these hallways are really wide.
Yeah, no, just like, oh boy, it seems like there's a lot of room, places that
There's a lot of space in here.
every window gets smashed.
Yeah.
Oh
Man,
yeah.
the
So
dual wielding.
so to kind of break up, like talking about specific elements of the movie,
Yeah.
I feel like we should talk a little bit more about the characters, like
For
as far as
sure.
like so Chow Yun-fat, who plays Tequila in this movie, is, I believe, he's kind of like John Woo's muse.
Really?
I was saying, like, he's in a lot of the other movies. Like, he's the main character in The Killer, which is John Woo's previous film before this.
He's his like De Niro, like to Scorsese.
Yeah, pretty much. Like,
Yeah.
he's kind of the feature. And I really want to watch The Killer because I believe it's kind of like a similar thing. Like, it's
Cool.
another, like, cop. Chow Yun-fat plays an assassin in that movie who accidentally damages the eyes. Oh, yeah, I got to check it out. We'll do another episode on The Killer.
That's awesome.
But he plays an assassin in that movie, so I'm excited to see that. He got his biggest break, like, as far as, like, in American audiences for Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Oh, he did that?
Yeah, no, he was the additional lead with Michelle Yeoh. That's another movie that I hate to say that I have not seen.
No, yeah, no.
I've lied to a lot of people about.
I honestly
seen
can't
that
remember
movie.
if I have or not, to be honest.
Yeah, I haven't.
I
I've
probably
seen. I think did Ang Lee? I saw another movie called Hero, which a lot of people have said that like if you like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, check out Hero. And I think it's also directed by Ang Lee.
Okay.
But yeah, that was kind of his like breakout role, and then he did a couple of other kind of smaller kind
That's
of
so cool.
things across over, like Bulletproof Monk, which is kind of like more of a comedy, like American kung fu movie.
That's awesome. And I can see we're talking about John Woo, right?
No, we're talking about
Chow Yun-fat.
Chow Yun-fat, the
Yeah.
main character. Yeah, but so tell me what you thought of him, and then maybe some of the other characters in this movie.
I thought he was great. He was he like we were saying, he that workaday attitude, that sort of schlubbiness. He's like the most charming person on screen at all times. Like no one even comes close. What's the name of the undercover guy?
The character's name is Alan. Or
Alan.
At least I don't know if like if it's a translation thing or like if that's just for
A lot of anglicized names in this movie.
American Idol. With the
But
actor's name is Tony Leung. Oh, I've seen him in other stuff.
he is incredibly charming too. At first you think he's just. Are we worried about spoilers?
Oh shit! Yeah, I'm gonna say we're not. This movie's been out for a
Okay.
while, but dude, the guy who played I knew I recognized him.
What's
I
that?
think he's I gotta go to his filmography. Tony Leung.
Yeah.
He's come on. Oh, is he not the Mandarin? He's in. He's the Mandarin. He's the Mandarin in Shang-Chi.
Oh, cool.
And the
That's cool.
and did you see Shang-Chi?
No.
Legend of the Ten Rings. It's
Nope.
Marvel movie. Yeah, he was killer in that movie.
That's sweet.
He was the villain in Shang-Chi. And he was
Well, he's
really
still working.
Yeah, he was really scary. Yeah, no, big working. Yeah, no, all that.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna rewatch that now.
He's super likable. At first, you think he's
Just a criminal.
yeah,
or
they don't
assassin.
They don't let on that he's undercover for like the first half of the movie, and you just think he's this mob boss's like right hand guy, and you see him coerced into betraying his boss, and it's like an actually like really sad scene because this
he had a connection with him.
Yeah,
it was a real family dynamic that the crime boss had with all of his like the first time you see them, they're all kind of just like hanging out at his house, like fucking around.
And he's like, "Don't you watch out for that guy? That guy's a snake." And he has no idea, and he's like the scene in which that he gets betrayed. He's got this like look of hurt in his eyes, and he's like, "No, nobody fight him. Go ahead, betray me." And then he does, and you can see this like shocked look, like he still thought he wasn't gonna do it. It's so sad.
Yeah,
but it's great. I wasn't expecting to feel something in this movie, aside from like, whoa.
Didn't expect to feel emotions beyond this. Yeah.
Dual wielding.
Some of the other characters, Teresa Chang, who is Tequila's girlfriend.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, I was a little confused at the beginning. I remember the first time I watched this, I thought like, oh, are they separated?
Yeah, I thought they were just kind of like on the rocks a little bit.
It seemed like they were on a break.
Yeah,
we didn't get a whole lot of.
They were just kind of cat and mouse a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, the Mad Dog, who was the dude. We called him Skeleton Faced. He was really scary.
Yeah, he was really scary, and I think what I was saying to you, he's got this. He's like this archetype of just like the henchman who's just a real badass, like evil guy who will just who just is a force of nature. And then at the very end, he's like, "Listen, boss, we have like I see what you're doing. Like there are limits to what we should do." And it's like, holy shit, this guy's a character.
He's actually doing stuff. Yeah,
I love seeing like some depth in that guy.
Yeah, he doesn't want to like harm any innocents.
Yeah.
You know, like he's
got like some kind of code of honor, which is something that any lesser movie would have just let him be just some action figure thug, you know?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah. They gave his character a lot more depth.
They gave him an actual character. He's not just like a prop, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Yeah. I liked the captain a little bit. Or, I don't know. The captain as a character maybe wasn't as interesting, but I liked his interactions with Tequila.
Yeah.
As far as like
their relationship was fun.
Them butting heads was good. As far as the characters go, yeah, I think that Tequila was definitely the most.
There's a lot to enjoy between the action scenes.
The most interesting, yeah.
Absolutely. Tequila is very charming.
Yeah.
Like a Harrison Ford type.
Yeah. And I guess as far as the action scenes go, if we want to talk about any of our were there any, did you have like an action scene, a set piece that was a favorite, or like any kind of favorite moments in the movie as far as like action or anything else is concerned?
Something that sticks out in my head is that part where I already forget both of their names. The undercover cop and the henchman we were just talking about,
Alan and Mad Dog.
Alan and Mad Dog, they're having this like prolonged fight in the hospital, and they're like both running down like opposite sides of a wall with like glass panes between them, and they're shooting at each other, and they're both missing. I love how much everyone misses in this movie.
People just shoot guns like crazy.
It's like the guy who wrote. I remember I listened to an interview with the guy who wrote Free Fire a while ago, and the reason he was inspired to write that was he read police reports about actual like shootouts, and a lot of the time, like most of the time, it's like I shot and then he shot and then I shot and then I got like shot in the leg and I fell down and then we just kept shooting at each other, and like the amount of shots that just miss in firefights is insane, and it works so well with John Woo because everything that the bullets hit explode and add to the action.
There's so much dodging in this, like so much
Oh,
dodging.
man.
Very rarely is somebody just in this movie just like standing and shooting aimlessly.
People-
Like they're shooting while they're jumping or while
Jumping
they're
through the air like Max Payne.
sliding, or maybe like the gunshot like pushes them down.
Oh
or,
yeah, they're
you know.
laying down, or they're like trying to get to cover, or they're jumping through a window.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
it's so satisfying.
There's so much movement, but at the same time, like, and I feel like it would, in the hands of a lot of other filmmakers, it would feel really jumbled
Yeah,
or messy. But I feel like he knows when to appropriately like emphasize certain movements, like the direction of like where it's very. The action's very easy to follow.
it's a very like technically impressive feat. Like the fact that you know what's going on at all, and that's something that I can't really extend to Face Off in a lot of parts.
Yeah.
It's like he uses these wide shots. He establishes the geography ahead of time, and he does it in this way that you know exactly what's happening with every single shot and where everybody is. It's an art, and he's obviously just a genius at it. Like he knows exactly what he's doing,
Absolutely.
and that and the choreographer, of course.
Yeah, just the way he frames the action.
Yeah.
So would you say that fight scene basically between the undercover cop and
Well,
Mad
yeah.
Dog was your favorite action scene in the movie?
No, I like the opening scene best.
Opening scene, the tee. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hard to beat the tee shop.
Yeah,
scene.
that was the by far my favorite.
The tee shop scene really like whoops you into gears. Like there's all the birds around
This shot of Chow Yun Fat coming down,
down
the
the stairs, like sliding down the
dual-wielding.
rails.
Oh my god! And like the flour going everywhere. Yeah, you go ahead. What's your favorite?
Yeah, it's so good. Oh god! Upon rewatch, I didn't realize the first time I watched it that one take scene.
Oh
at
yeah.
the end when they're basically just
Oh,
like
there's so much.
mowing through bad guys in the hospital. Chow Yun Fat and Tony Leung, they're just like, like Chow Yun Fat has a shotgun and like Tony Leung is like is dual wielding, and like they're just going through.
Yeah.
And like it's just like a one take following them down all these hallways, and like Tony Leung's like jumping on like hospital like
Oh my god.
sheds and like sliding along.
They're coming out of like the morgue slider drawers, and they're sliding onto rolling carts for bodies, and they're continuing to shoot the entire time.
Absolutely.
It is absurd.
I think that's another element of what makes it really good. They use the environment so much.
Absolutely.
And that's, you know what? That's another thing that, like, I think is also kind of borrowing. It could be kind of borrowing or something I like about Jackie Chan as well.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, a lot of his movies, they use the environment so much. Like, they're always grabbing objects or, like, jumping off of something or breaking something to get
I love it.
something else, you know?
It can't
And-
just be interchangeable with any other location. You actually use the one you wrote it for, right?
Exactly, yeah. I think that's a big part of why a lot of action kind of today, like in your basic superhero movie, can really feel off because they're not interacting with the environment that
Yeah.
much. As far as like it's just kind of two CGI things shooting
Just kind of slamming into each other.
shooting colors at each other.
Yeah.
And that's what I was talking about with when we were watching the movie. I was talking about how it made me think of the fight scene in Smallville and Man of Steel.
Yeah, at the
where,
end.
Yeah, where like basically I really like that scene because there's so much physicality. Like they're being thrown through all the stores and they're throwing around cars and
Punching each other midair. And
yeah, the streets are getting destroyed, and like there's so much environmental interaction that really grounds it all.
there's IHOP, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, thrown into an IHOP. And even though that movie, it's all CGI, like it's still they respect. I think a big element of what makes good action is can you imagine it happening?
Yeah.
And with something like this where it's all practical, like obviously,
it's incredibly believable looking.
yeah. Whereas like if you're gonna make something like using CG and computer effects, a way to sell it is just to make it like grounded in reality to the point where like you can imagine the physics of that thing
yeah.
working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like the squibs and the explosives and just the screen filling debris. Oh man, I love how just kinetic this whole movie was.
Yeah.
It felt so good to watch.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The babies.
What?
The babies.
The babies. Yeah. I was about to say with talking about. I think there's some good moments of levity
Yeah,
in this movie, and I feel like the way they use the babies at the end kind of.
Yeah, there's like a full maternity ward full of babies. I don't know if it's technically a maternity ward, but just full of these babies, and like there's a big shootout at the hospital, and the hospital is going to explode eventually. And they're like, well, we have to do something about these babies. So it becomes like a whole plot point
We
of
have
like,
to
how
save
are
the
we going to
babies.
get these babies out of this hospital?
All of these babies.
And Chow Yun Fat at the very end is like carrying a baby around
Yeah.
with him with cotton stuffed in its ears.
For, like,
and he's like
last-
singing a lullaby while he's like shooting at
Shooting
these people.
Yeah, for the last 10 minutes, he's carrying a baby while he's doing all this crazy shit.
I love an action hero holding a baby and a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, look up the poster for
Yeah,
this movie.
The poster for this movie is insane because it's just
I want it on my wall.
Chang Fat holding a giant baby.
The baby looks nonplussed.
Yeah, no, the baby's huge. I don't think he ever wears that outfit in this movie.
Looks cool though.
Yeah. Does he get his head beat up like that?
Yeah, he has that. He has that bandage.
Okay, yeah, but he's not wearing this body armor at that point. He's wearing like a trench coat
He
at that
looks-
point in the movie.
He looks sick.
Yeah.
That
no,
poster goes hard. I love it.
it is a good poster. It would be hard to find like a really clear poster of that.
Yeah, it looks so cool.
Yeah, so I guess the next thing I want to ask is like so do you, for this movie, did you have any, was there anything that you didn't like or you felt was kind of weak? I know that you had said that the story was hard for you to follow.
Yeah, and I'm a kind of a slow reader in general.
Yeah, we
But-
watched it in its original language.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like criticizing an action movie like this for its plot, it's not, like a good plot is good to have, and this movie does have a good plot. I just think it's kind of weak, but I don't think that's something to hold it against
It's
it.
pretty basic, the
Yeah.
plot, when you get down to it.
Yeah. But I don't know, as far as weak points, like if you're coming here for action, you're gonna get it in like spades. Like you're gonna get it, and then the scene's gonna go on for another 10 minutes, and you're gonna be like, "Whoa!"
Yeah. Yeah. And it definitely, I feel like it's so well done to the point where like it really doesn't get old.
No,
And they're always so creative with what they do with it.
no,
too.
I don't want the scenes to end.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah. They're like extremely well done. Yeah. I feel like the only part of the movie that kind of drags for me, I remember, is like when they first get to the hospital and they go down to like the vault.
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah,
that time period there where they're kind of like meandering around the
agree.
hospital.
it kind of sags.
Yeah, just a little bit. Like just a little bit.
That could be tightened up in just one big. I agree.
Like there was that bit where like they had to blow up the circuits or whatever to open the door.
You're kind of like, can we just like move it, please?
Yeah, they could have just cut that out and
Yeah.
had like an easier way to get into the vault, and I feel like it would have made it flow better. But that's literally it for me.
Yeah, yeah. I just think there's some like low points of like pacing wise, but that's also just because I'm an American who hates reading.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to keep reading all this. Yeah,
Please show me people getting shot, sir.
yes, just more explosions.
Shoot somebody, please.
Yeah, but hard boiled, kick ass.
Oh my
I
God.
think I'm gonna watch The Killer next. A buddy of mine told me to watch The Killer.
Killer.
Yeah, but let's talk about the other movie that we watched tonight.
Yeah.
A classic, John Woo's third American film,
Ooh, yeah.
starring Nicolas Cage and John Travolta.
Ooh,
Face Off.
one experience.
Putting it up there with all the best the body swaps. Freaky Friday.
It's basically the same thing.
Yeah, basically the exact
You could
same.
probably put Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan in this. And It would be
Exactly.
about the same movie.
That make it a very different. Who would have started off as Castor Troy in that version? Lindsay Lohan.
Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that would have been really funny. But yeah, so can you give us a basic synopsis of
Okay.
Face Off as best you can? It's
So,
your first time seeing it.
Sean Archer, as played by John Travolta, lives a happy life with his son where he rubs his hand on his face for some reason.
Rubs his hand on his whole
On
family's
his-
face.
he just loves rubbing his hand on his family's face. Is how they say they love you in his country, I guess. Castor Troy is played by Nicolas Cage. Goes to shoot Sean Archer, kills his son. Sean Archer's sad, Big sad. We come back to him later on, and he's still hunting down Castor Troy, who is a terrorist for hire, which I guess is a thing.
Yeah.
He tracks him to a place,
an airport.
Yeah, broad strokes incapacitates him after he places a big bomb somewhere, but they don't know where. His brother is the only person who knows, and he'll only tell Castor Troy. So the only logical conclusion that the FBI could come up with is to do very sci-fi plastic surgery to make Sean Archer look exactly like Castor Troy in every single way, and have only 3 people in the FBI know about it for some reason.
Only 3 whole people.
And then,
and not have not have like a digital record of it anywhere.
And then the movie happens after that.
Yep. And then their faces swap, and then somehow Castor Troy
He wakes up from his
coma.
Yeah,
very suddenly.
He has the plastic surgeon put John Travolta's face on him.
Yeah, and he could have just killed him while he was while he was up, but that's its own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy.
And they switch faces, and Nick Cage, Sean Archer is trying to get his face back.
Yeah.
And save his family and whatnot. Yeah, so I grew up with this movie.
You did?
Like, yeah,
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I've got a lot of nostalgia for it.
Okay.
Like my mom had this movie on all the time. Like, it was just like a fun thing to watch. And
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because you defend it very vehemently.
Oh yeah, no, I adore this movie. It's totally fine if you hate it or really don't like it.
I don't hate it.
But yeah, no, I'm very curious to hear your opinions on it. I guess basically, overall, what were your kind of thoughts as it ended?
I thought it was way more fun than I was expecting. My opinion of this movie was, this is my first time watching this, but I've seen basically the whole movie off and on because
clips.
I'm addicted to YouTube
references and YouTube videos.
Yeah. I always thought that this movie was taking itself 100% seriously, which is why this must just be an awful movie. But I think there's a really interesting conversation to be had about the tone and how much of this movie is trying to be absurd and over the top and how much is trying to be taken seriously. And I have no idea where that line is, where John Woo, I know I'm not supposed to laugh at the hand face thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Am I supposed to laugh at the magnet boots in the prison? Am I supposed to laugh at how little sense the plot makes?
Yeah, it really is a comic book in that regard.
It's entertaining as all hell. I will say, the action scenes after watching Hard Boiled left something to be desired.
Yeah, that was something that I had on my mind too, and it didn't necessarily drag the movie down for me, but it's just man, I'm immediately comparing this aspect of this movie to, and it's
half as good.
It's inferior.
Yeah.
It is. I think personally, the action is still better than a lot of modern action we have now.
Sure,
but it definitely is a downgrade from that.
Yeah, it's very a bunch of quick cuts and zoom ins and a million cuts for one scene. So we don't have that wide angle anything anymore that we had in Hard Boiled. We don't have the million bullets spraying everywhere. We don't have the million stuntmen who are starving to death in their tiny apartments who just want to die on camera, please.
Yeah, the stuntmen got paid a lot better this time around.
So I guess that's a plus, but not for us.
Not for the viewers.
Yeah.
Not for me at home who wants to see Nick Cage have a crazy oneer down a hallway where he's going nuts.
Let's talk about the performances. What do you think?
As far as I think Nick Cage steals the show, I think, in this movie as Castor Troy.
Yeah.
As far as the permutation of when he's Castor versus Sean Archer, and then when John Travolta is Castor versus Sean Archer.
I think, and I think that we're not the first people to notice that it would be a lot better if he got to play the fun character for the whole movie.
Yeah, if Nick Cage was Castor Troy throughout the whole thing.
Because I will come out as a John Travolta hater. I don't really like his acting, to be honest, in pretty much anything I've seen him in. And I don't think he does a very good job in this movie. I don't think he has it.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't have, like, when he's Castor, which he's Castor throughout most of the movie, nearly as much just manic energy that Nick, like unhinged crazy energy as Nick Cage does.
Yeah.
But it's hard to match that level of unhinged.
He tries, but it's kind of like your mom, like trying to be like crazy. It's like there's still like that reservedness. He
Yeah.
can't break past it, and it feels like he's playing somebody.
If anything, he comes off just as like more of a creep.
Yeah,
As far as like, I don't know, just the
I feel like he does. No matter what he does, he come off as more of a creep.
yeah, it's definitely not as fun. And then like seeing when Nick Cage is Sean Archer, the best parts of that aspect of the performance is when he's kind of losing it.
Yeah,
As far as like the moments where like he's kind of having an emotional breakdown, where he's trying to pretend to be Castor Troy, like as Sean Archer trying not to have an emotional breakdown about being fucked in this situation.
yeah.
You know, and then the scene where he's high, I love that scene.
Oh yeah. No, John Woo knew what he had with Nick Cage, and I think he saw like, well, I gotta like have him be nuts at some point in this movie, aside from the beginning. Like I gotta have him be insane. So like, let's have him do drugs. Let's have his mind just break from this insane situation.
Yeah.
Let's have him go crazy in one way or another.
I think the solution to solving that would have been like, instead of choosing a different actor instead of John Travolta, like
Yes.
something crazy, like fucking Jim Carrey
Ooh.
as Sean Archer.
Now that would have been interesting, because this whole movie is stunt casting the movie, right? I mean, like, because you hear the premise and you see these two actors and you're like, well, I gotta see that.
I gotta see what they're gonna do swapped as each other.
There is that rumor that I was talking about where these two actors, Travolta and Cage, just do not like each other, so they like tried to do an insulting performance of each other. I don't know if I saw that on screen. Really, it's more just like a vague impression here and there.
Yeah.
But I do think that Nick Cage comes from a very like serious school of acting, and I was talking about this earlier, where he doesn't so much try to mimic like human behavior like one to one, because that's not really that interesting. He tries to evoke emotion as rawly as possible in a lot of situations, and I just don't think John Travolta thinks that hard about his performances. If I can judge him based off those.
Yeah. I mean, I just think, yeah, as far as like John Travolta is one of those actors, I feel like whenever I've seen him in something, he's kind of just playing him.
Yeah.
You know, and like we were saying too, like what I probably know him most from is Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
And then
And he was good in that, but that was also very good direction, and also he was kind of desperate.
Yeah, Wild Hogs. I've seen Wild Hogs.
Wild Hogs.
Yeah. Fucking.
Oh, you
Grease.
know what? We should watch The Fanatic. You know about The Fanatic?
Oh yeah, isn't it like the lowest grossing movie of all time or some shit?
It was a
like-
Redbox exclusive,
Or it's got like a 0.
directed by Fred Durst.
Damn.
Do you know anything about the plot?
Yeah, he's like a Comic-Con nerd.
Worse.
Worse?
Yes,
No.
way worse.
What's he a fan of?
He's a fan of an actor. He's playing a very, very neurodivergent man in the most offensive, hilarious way
I'm sorry,
possible.
Hunter Dunbar. Is Hunter Dunbar real?
No.
No.
Wait, yeah, I think he is actually. Or he's being played by someone I don't know.
Devin saw.
I don't care. It's a bad movie. But it is, the clips I have seen of John Travolta offensively trying to be Arnie from What's Even Gilbert Grape is and directed by someone with the emotional intelligence of Fred Durst. I'm not a big fan of Travolta. Anyway, back to Face Off.
Yeah, I've never had that much of a vendetta against him necessarily. Beyond like I don't know. He's just not in a whole lot of my favorite movies, I should say, except for this one. As far as like, like a lot of my enjoyment I get from this movie just comes from the insanity
Yeah,
of
no,
the plot and I feel like there's a lot of really memorable one-liners.
I was way more entertained than I thought I'd be. I'm gonna take his face off.
Yeah.
I was like, the tone of this movie, like you said, like I went into it expecting it to be so totally self-serious, and came out of it like, what did this movie want to be at all? Because it's this.
It's a weird balance.
You think it's gonna be like just standard like action movie, but it's got this all this crazy sci-fi ideas, just like situationally, like what can we put in this situation that makes it more interesting? Like we have this goofy prison.
Well, the movie originally was sold as like a sci-fi
Yeah.
type script, and I got that. I found that out from
But it like
like from the Story Break episode where they talk about Face Off 2.
Yeah.
It was originally supposed to be like a futuristic kind of Blade Runner-y type thing, where it's in the future.
It's just something people do.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think it was John Woo who wanted to have it set in more of like a modern day thing. Like I think it is supposed to be like kind of a near future.
Because like watching it take place in modern day, it just feels like kind of sci-fi of convenience for the plot.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so we have
It's super sci-fi in this one specific
it's
way.
like there's this one idea and it's just really, really good plastic surgery. And here's this other idea and it's this sci-fi prison where everyone wears magnet boots.
Yeah.
And that's all the sci-fi in the movie. It feels very eclectic and like unfocused and strange.
Yeah. If I think what was I gonna say? They talk about this in Story Break too, whereas like when you have a movie like this where it's like all things being normal, you have to. The audience can only swallow like one pill at a time. As far as like there is one thing about this universe that you have to accept in order for you to get through it, and if you try to like show people, like give people multiple different dissonant things, then it's gonna make it unbelievable.
That's the thing. And if you have it set in the future like Blade Runner, you can have like, well, we have this and we have this and we have this. But if it's just like it's modern day, but we have this weird thing and this weird thing, and that's all the weird things we have.
Two very different weird things.
Two things that aren't connected to each other at all.
It's a thing where it's like an example. I was listening to this and talk about it on Dungeons and Daddies. Well, just name dropping these podcasts.
Daddies.
Was that have you heard of the movie 65 with Adam Driver?
No.
You may have seen a trailer for it. So in the movie, the trailer shows like Adam Driver is a man and he's like on a spaceship, future spaceship, and he crashes on a planet.
Yeah.
And on the planet there's dinosaurs.
Oh, cool.
And it's 65.
You know what? I might have seen a trailer for that.
Yeah, 65 million years ago. The trailer is implying that like Adam Driver went back in time and he's stuck finding dinosaurs.
Okay.
Is what the trailer is trying to make you think.
Okay.
As far as like a futuristic like Earth goes back in time. Or something that I thought that like I assume like what if I bet the twist is gonna be that it's like Adam and Eve type thing. And they're like early humans who came to Earth or whatever.
Adam and Eve Driver.
The movie itself, I have not seen the movie, but I've seen full spoilers. Spoiler alert for 65.
Okay. 66 comes after it.
Yeah. Adam Driver in that movie is an alien. Like he's like
Adam Driver in real life is an alien.
Yeah. But like so he comes from an alien civilization that just happens to be aliens that look exactly like humans.
Yeah.
That come to Earth. And he shows up, but then he leaves. Like he makes it off, and that the whole thing is like
Planet of the Apes, kind of.
Yeah, somewhat, but like he doesn't stay there, and it's literally just like he's from another planet. It's 65 million years ago. He comes down and he escapes, but like him being just an alien that looks like a human from another planet makes it so that the dinosaurs aren't special. Because to him, it's not like, oh shit, it's dinosaurs. To him,
it's aliens.
It's aliens. You know what I mean? And it's a thing where it's like, why the fuck would you not make him like from the future?
That's so strange.
Or like, it's these two very different like
it feels like a rewrite.
Yeah, he could be an alien from planet Gazorpazorp or whatever. and then go to a planet with different creatures.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
it's make it not Earth and make it not specifically dinosaurs, and it would kind of like you'd accept it more.
So like a whole other planet
Yeah.
evolved exactly the same as ours.
Exactly. So like, why bother making it dinosaurs, or why bother making him an alien?
Just to try to fake you out, I guess. That
Yeah.
feels really cheap.
Yeah, well, you know that he's like an alien from a different planet from the very
From the
beginning.
beginning?
Yeah, from the beginning of the movie. Like,
But they're just dinosaurs.
yeah,
How uncreative is that?
yeah. No, it's so ridiculous. I want to see it though, because I've heard it can be. People have called it a so bad it's good, but
We'll go to Dog Planet.
yeah. But no, but that's a similar thing with like Face Off, where it's like you have the super future prison.
Yeah.
But
It's sci-fi of convenience.
Yeah,
It's like you pick it up when you want it and then you put it back down again.
exactly. They could have just, and also the Magna Boots didn't even really play a role beyond.
It just
like,
felt random.
yeah,
It just felt like some random idea that they had, and they're just like, yeah, sure. And it didn't. It like, I guess it like, it could have been like any Supermax prison. Like you didn't, like I don't know. Like, what purpose did it even serve in the script?
The only purpose that the boots really served was like Nick Cage needed to find a way to get the boots off so that he could escape, because that was like the primary barrier.
Yeah, but that could have been like
could've-
handcuffs.
Yeah, it could have been any. It could have been anything else. Could have been
or
handcuffs.
like
Could have been
ankle shackles or
him
something.
getting out of his cell or
Yeah,
something.
or like a ball
Yeah.
and chain.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like, I'm fine with sci-fi. I like sci-fi. Don't get me wrong. It's just like this movie is not a sci-fi movie until it is, and then it isn't again, and that's frustrating to me for some reason.
Yeah. That's kind of one of the things with the whole body swap thing in general. As
Yeah.
far as like I'll tell you a part of why it doesn't bother me as much. It's a thing that I have with like all body swap movies, really, as far as like, you know, Freaky Friday, vice versa, whatever.
Yeah.
How the body swap occurs is not nearly as interesting to me as what they do with the body swap element.
Yeah, but
You know.
at the same time, I think I do prefer having like a hard nuts and bolts explanation for how and why this is happening, and having that built into the script rather than just like it happened and now I have to deal with it, because now like the how and why is a factor in the plot. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
That's something that I do enjoy about this movie.
100%. Yeah, so we got those characters. What other characters do you
We
want to
got
talk?
the daughter,
Got the daughter. That's
Who-
true. Jamie.
who, by the way, thanks for bringing me on only for movies about,
About-
father-daughter incest.
Yeah. John Travolta is weird and creepy.
It's because of
With
Castor Troy is taking over his body
yeah.
for all intents and purposes, and Castor Troy is a big old creep weirdo who likes underage girls,
Yeah, the
And
opening
guess
of the
what?
movie is him like grabbing like a choir girl's butt.
and he does the funniest face in the world while he does it.
His eyes pop right out of
Yeah, I love that face.
Nick Cage's.
He goes, "Oh, I'm Nicolas Cage."
Yeah.
So yeah, John Travolta has an underage daughter, and you can probably imagine where that goes. I mean, it doesn't go
Yeah.
where you.
Yeah, you know, he
Hey,
doesn't.
back up, buddy. It doesn't go that far.
He threatens.
That'd be weird.
Yeah, but it doesn't go that far. But he definitely like has like a lot of looks and like because like the first time like he sees her, like he walks into her room while she's listening to
Yeah.
James Brown,
And he
So-
sees her with no pants. Yeah, she's listening to classic, classic
Brown.
teenager music, James Brown
exactly
from the
and,
90s.
yeah, and she's just in her underwear and like
And you get the male gaze going up her butt and up her back, and it's like, wait.
yeah, it's real gross. Yeah, no, and like he creeps up on her and he grabs a cigarette and it's
He
weird.
very explicitly says that he like is into her at the end too, when he like licks her face.
Oh yeah, no,
And he
absolutely.
can eat a peach for hours or whatever.
Yeah, no, disgusting. But fucking, what was I gonna say? The only hashtag good dad moment he really has, Castor Troy has, in with John Travolta's body, is when like Jamie is literally about to be raped by a dude that like she went on a date with or whatever.
He's a good guy.
Or I don't know, his boyfriend, and it was actually a really funny moment. He like fucking kicks in the car window, smashes it, and drags the dude out.
He takes. Can we check if that's actually Hyde from that '70s show? Because it looked like
I do want to know that.
But he pulls Hyde out of the car and he smashes his face.
Dude who looks just like Hyde.
And we're like, why does this guy care? Like, this is like the worst, like most woman-hating man in the world, and all of a sudden he's like protective of this girl he doesn't know.
I think there are two reasons why he. One, because if he didn't save her, that would blow his cover.
Yeah.
As far as like, because Joan Allen would be like, "Why the fuck didn't you save our daughter?"
Yeah.
But then also like he was frustrated about something else.
He was in a
in the
very
moment.
bad mood at the time, and he wanted to hit somebody.
Yeah, and he wanted to take out his anger. So Danny Masterson, who played Hyde,
which is perfect casting for a rapist, by the way.
Yeah. Was that him in Face Off? Let's see. We got his Wikipedia page.
Ooh.
Oh my God,
There
it
he
was
is.
him.
Look at the man with the
Shit.
perfect eyes over here.
Wow. Okay.
Instantly
damn.
recognize him.
I thought it was a dude who just looked like him. Yeah. No. It
Do
was
you have
him.
an actor who has sexual assault allegations? He's locked up here in the steel trap.
Called Danny Masterson. Wow. Shit. No, I thought that wasn't him, and it was just a dude that looked like him.
Yep. Nope. That
Shit.
was him.
Yeah.
I know my Hyde when I see him.
But the real question was that guy in the prison Thomas Jane?
So I was like going back and forth. I settled on it not being him. Watch it be him.
Mm-hmm. Eventually could be Thomas Jane. Have you seen Punisher: Dirty Laundry, the short film?
No.
With Thomas Jane.
I thought he played the Punisher like in a whole movie, didn't he?
He played him in a whole movie, but a few years later, there was this, I forget his fucking name. There was this guy on YouTube that was he did like a handful of Marvel short films, like little like YouTube shorts.
Fan films.
Yeah, fan films. And he got Thomas Jane to be in like a little Punisher fan film called It was like a 8-minute thing. Yeah, he also got Ron Perlman in it as well.
Sick.
As like a guy
That's crazy.
Who owns a. The coolest one he did was there was
Face Off.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Look at the man with the perfect eyes.
Dude, no, the Burke Hicks.
Celebrity recognizer,
That's
man.
him in Face Off. Wow, I legitimately didn't think it was.
Guess who's got the eyes for recognizing celebrities and nothing else?
It was the hair.
Yeah,
honestly,
he has very different hair than usual.
I can't imagine Thomas Jane with long hair.
This curly blonde hair and these glasses makes him not look like him. But I can see. You can't hide from me.
Big, thick rim glasses.
Somebody check if Thomas Jane has sexual assault allegations.
Yeah, but the coolest. Let me see if I can find it. He did a short film about Venom, about truth and journalism.
Venom.
Adi Shankar, that was his name. Oh, and he also did the Spider-Man Power Ranger short film as well.
Ooh.
Truth and Journalism, and it's kind of like a. I'm gonna play a little bit of it, but I'm not gonna play the sound. But it's like kind of like
bootleg universe.
It's kind of like a 30s style like newsreel thing where like
that's cool.
Eddie Brock is going around trying to solve a case, and it's kind of like found footagey.
That is something Venom would do. Was that
Was the guy dying?
Was that? I'm not going to ruin my perfect record by guessing who it was.
With the dead guy.
It sure looked like a guy I recognized, but it probably wasn't him because this is like an indie thing.
Yeah, well, you can check it out later and let me know.
Yeah.
But yeah, by the end of the movie, he becomes Venom, and it's like a real lo-fi.
Looked cool for a second.
It looked cool for a second.
Then I looked a little closer at it.
Yeah, but no, it's pretty sick. But yeah, Thomas Jane was in that one. Goddamn, I gotta get back to
and he was in this.
Gotta get back to the
Face Off.
I gotta get back to the Face Off. What were we talking about with Face Off?
We were talking about the characters,
the other characters. So yeah, so there's Jamie.
There's his wife.
Yep. There's his wife Eve, who's a nurse. Who
isn't really much of a character at all, aside from her relationship with her husband. Yeah, she doesn't really have like a life outside of that in this movie.
Yeah, she doesn't do a whole lot necessarily. Like her they don't really give her a lot of a performance to have beyond like frustrated wife,
supportive or angry.
Yeah,
those are her two moods.
She's pretty much just like frustrated at Sean Archer for being like, "Oh, you're obsessed with
the man who killed your son."
Yep.
Are you kidding me?
Yep.
Let's go to our son's grave every year on his birthday.
Super sad day.
Let's go on sad day. Honey, it's sad day again. Yes, dear.
It's time to be super sad. Fucking there's Castor Troy's family and his like Little Gang Squad. There's his
It's a
main
Little Gang.
tall henchman man
Yeah,
who looked
like
like
Woody Harrelson.
yeah. Oh, there's Pollux Troy.
Pollux Troy.
What's up, bro?
Yeah, or if we're talking about neurodivergent coded characters,
Yeah.
is Pollux Troy, who is extremely neurodivergent coded, if not just explicitly that.
Yeah, Alessandro Nivola. I've seen this dude in other shit.
Is that him?
Yeah, that's
Doesn't look
him.
anything like him in that picture.
He's a handsome dude in this
He
picture.
is. He didn't look like
He-
a weird little
He was
weasel.
a weird little rat guy in
Yeah.
the movie, but he's handsome.
He's like all hunched over and he's like, Danny's not here right now. Is it Torrance?
He's got real ego. Oh, damn. He's Billy from Jurassic Park 3.
Oh my God, it all connects.
Alan.
Alan. Every time we saw the name Alan in
in
Hard
Hard Boiled.
Boiled, we said Alan, like in Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah, my favorite Jurassic Park movie. I'll take
Go ahead and look up the Velociraptor saying Alan.
Alan.
For that moment alone, I can agree with you on that movie being great.
Oh, yeah, only for that scene.
Alan. Only
yeah.
that.
Pollux is kind of fun. Pollux had some good lines in this movie.
He was given a lot to do. He's very entertaining to watch.
Yeah. Yes, I always was the brains of the family. At least now I've got the looks. This thing with his pinky.
My brother is Castor Troy.
Yeah.
I
Really
wear
good.
big sweaters and big Harry Potter glasses.
John Travolta was real sad when he died in the movie
Yeah,
too. When he fell, he had a good death scene too.
he fell.
He like fell through like 3 separate fucking window ceilings.
Yeah, he fall down, go boom, pretty good.
But yeah, no, there was Nick Cage's baby mama.
Oh yeah, Nick Cage also had a whole family. I don't know how I felt about that because Castor Troy is supposed to be this just psycho. Look, I guess that is his son.
Well, it's implied. I believe they say in the movie that he didn't know that kid was his son.
Okay,
Like she told him in that moment.
because I didn't like the idea of him being like a family man to like reflect back on John Travolta or something. Like they're not so different after all. Like no, this guy is an absolute psychopath. This guy does not have his life together.
Yeah.
Like this man is insane.
Well, she does say to him, like to God, that the actors of the character names fucks me up. He does say to Nick Cage as Sean Archer that like the only time that you ever see me, it's like, hey, nice ass, you're a peach, and see ya.
Yeah,
You know, so like he is like
he's a piece of shit to her too.
yeah, he's a piece of shit. Like she's just like
I'm glad that's consistent.
yeah, she's just like a side thing, or
Which brings us,
as my mother would say, a cheap tramp sex poodle.
and then they have a son, which leads to the funniest
Adam.
ending scene I think I've ever seen in a fucking movie in
Yeah.
my life. Oh my God, do we want to talk about that now?
Yeah, sure, why not?
So at the end,
After Sean Archer gets his face back,
yeah, he like turns the corner. It's like all slow motion and foggy and all dramatic. He turns the corner, and this is something that I am 100% sure is not supposed to be funny, but is very funny.
yeah,
He turns the corner. He's got this big, stupid John Travolta grin on, and he's like, "I love you, everybody." He touches everybody's face, and then he's like, "I have something to ask you guys." They're like, "Okay," and he's like, "Hold on, let me go get him." I'm like, what? And he pulls in this little Zack and Cody looking ass boy,
the little kid, little Adam,
Yeah.
who's Castor Troy's biological son.
and he's like, "Are we gonna keep him and give him a home?"
This is
I just
Adam,
wanted to go ahead
he's
and
gonna
ask
live
you.
with us
Well, we had him
We're gonna
in front of you.
Yes. I'm going to ask you right now while he's staring at you. So if
Are you going to tell me no, that we can't take him and I have to put him in foster care?
Mm-hmm.
And the last word of the movie is John Travolta's wife going, "Okay."
sure, bud. I'm not gonna say no to this kid's fucking face.
I love the ending of this movie. It is the most insane, like coked up ending I've ever. It doesn't
Yeah.
make. It's supposed to be so dramatic and like happy, but it's like, we got our replacement son, and I gaslit my family into adopting him.
We don't need to visit our son's grave anymore. We have a new son now.
Every year on sad days canceled.
We're legally changing his name to Michael, by the way.
We were talking about like, do you think that after this that they like took their new son to their old son's grave and was like, "This is you now. This is your grave, and we brought you back."
Yeah. we found this we found this scientist that can see like what our son would have looked like at your age, and now we're gonna grow a new face that would have been our son's face.
We're gonna take your face off, and we're gonna put on our old boy's face.
Exactly,
because we love him more.
Yeah,
and we lost him, so we got a new him, which is you.
Mm-hmm.
Yay, the end.
I feel like if they genuinely were going to do a Face-Off sequel, it would have to involve that kid somehow.
Oh, I would hope so.
Because that kid's got a fucking messed up.
Yeah, that kid was
lineage.
That kid went through a whole action scene where he saw like 30 people get killed.
Mm-hmm. Well, he had in his yellow Beats noise canceling,
active noise canceling headphones. Beats by Dre.
That blocked out the gunfire. Like, but not as good as the cotton balls and hard boiled.
Oh my god!
With the babies,
where can you buy those? Those apparently work really well.
Yeah, those are just completely noise canceling.
That baby really thoroughly enjoyed the violence, by the way.
Yeah, he only stopped
hard boiled.
He only stopped crying when the bullets were flying.
Yeah, Chow Yun Fat goes like, "Shut up," and the baby just like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah,
I love that.
Also, was in Face Off. There's a scene I love. Like I don't know. I guess we can start talking about like scenes that really stood out to us, like scenes, lines, and moments. But like, just it's so obvious and straightforward. But the scene when they're like back to back against like the double mirrors.
Oh my god, yeah.
And like why would there be like it's just a room full of mirrors?
Castor Troy, man. He's crazy. He'd get anything for his bedroom.
Yeah, and they're standing back to back against this mirror. And then they like both pull
they're
back.
Like, I'm gonna take your face off. No, you. And then
and they're pointing guns at. They're each on.
And they turn around.
And they're seeing themselves in their reflection.
And they see themselves, and it's like, oh, this movie's too smart for me, dude.
Exactly. Like they're pointing the guns at their true enemies, and it's just, it's so hard to describe. It's like,
and then you see the bullet slow mo go through their reflections, and they dodge the bullets.
Exactly. They slide on the ground and
they're
like
superhuman.
The John Woo slides.
Yep.
That's kind of his signature. There's like
he does like their slides.
Sliding on the ground while shooting guns.
Honestly, just people shooting while they're moving in like dramatic ways.
Yeah.
And that's good stuff. You know, who wants to watch someone just stand there and shoot, you know? That's boring.
Absolutely.
Move and shoot.
Yeah. But yeah, no, did you have like a favorite line or a favorite quote? Because there's like a lot of quotable moments.
Yeah, that's a good question. I pretty much anything Nick Cage said as Castor Troy was hilarious. I can eat a peach for hours is disgusting and like makes my stomach churn, which is why it's a really good line. He's what is the? It's like, I'm ready for the big time, baby.
Yeah,
I love that.
It's so good.
I love John Travolta coming out and posing like Jesus, and then hard cut to Jesus on the cross in case you didn't know what he was doing.
He's like speaking Latin and shit.
Yeah, he was speaking in Latin. Yeah, it's just in case you didn't know that he was doing a Jesus impression. It's a hard cut to Jesus on the cross.
Absolutely. There's also a really good stunt at the end of this during the. There's a pretty sick motorboat chase.
Yes,
that motorboat chase is probably the best action scene.
It is good, except there's very obvious stuntmen in so
like
many shots. It's like, who's that guy? Who are those guys? Who are those guys?
The stunt guy, who was Nick Cage's stunt guy, his hair was so much longer.
So different. Their skin tones are different and everything. They were just two white guys in suits, and that was literally it. And they were so close to the camera, too. You could see their faces.
Yeah. But when Nick Cage's stunt double was like hanging off the side of the speedboat.
Oh, that was a great stunt.
It was like skidding on the water, yeah.
Yeah, I think I said while we were watching it, that's my favorite stunt of the movie, because it reminds me of that the famous stunt in Stagecoach with the guy pulling himself under the stagecoach while it's moving. That shit was insane. Like, he's like skidding off the water, and you could tell it's a real guy like holding on, and he's just getting soaked, and it's like the boat's going so fast. I was really impressed by that.
Yeah, really great scene. Yeah, I mean, I guess as far as like, yeah. So, I guess upon this rewatch, I was kind of trying to put myself in perspective of like, I don't know. And this movie definitely does have like a lot of problems.
Sure.
As far as like, I think,
It's enjoyable though.
yeah, no, yeah, it's definitely enjoyable. I think for me the biggest L, definitely just rewatching it now, is like, yeah, John Travolta just is not nearly as engaging as Nick. Like he's fun to watch sometimes, and like he's getting kooky, but he's not nearly as in it.
I think Michael Keaton would have been perfect.
Oh, that would have been cool.
Yeah, I think that I was trying to think of like who I would replace him with. Michael Keaton, absolutely.
In that time period.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
It wouldn't have worked, but Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes. It
Have you
would
ever
have been fine.
Have you ever seen Demolition Man?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So yeah, like now that'd be a crossover right there, dude. Fucking Demolition Man and Face Off. Holy shit.
Yeah, he could have played the same character.
Yeah, that would have been.
It would have been fine.
Yeah. No problematic here. Is that blackface?
I mean, let's see. That's interesting because then you'd have Nicolas Cage trying to act like he's a black guy, not trying to act like a black guy.
That'd be the ultimate challenge for Nick Cage.
And Wesley Snipes would have to do the reverse.
But I think he can do it. I have faith.
I'd buy a ticket.
If Robert Downey Jr. can
That's
do
the
it.
first thing that I thought of when you were like, that's a little problematic. I was like, well, Robert Downey Jr. playing a white dude playing a black dude. So, and that was funny as hell. I fucking love that movie.
I love Tropic Thunder so much. Yeah,
One
fucking
of my favorite comedies.
goddamn. But yeah, I wonder. I guess my last question off of this: if they were to do a remake of Face Off, today, who would you want to see be Castor Troy and Sean Archer? Like, if it came out today.
When I think of like actors now, I don't know if there's like anybody that has like that kind of like personality and draw. Like everyone's just so bland now. I don't know. Like who's like everyone's just so like sanitized. Like all the actors that I like are like these like old heads from like the 90s.
Mm-hmm. Or when I think about actors now, it's like I was actually watching a video about this today. That was talking about how there aren't really like action stars anymore.
No, not at all.
Or like kind of that kind of.
Adam Driver and Daniel Craig, sure.
Adam Driver was one of the names that came to mind too, as far as like somebody.
Because I know he can do like this intense. I do like Adam Driver, mainly because of Marriage Story. I fucking love Marriage Story.
Yeah.
And I know he can get that like intensity.
It's gotta
he would have to be Sean Archer though.
It's gotta be two people with a similar height and a similar build. So who else? Jeff Goldblum.
Yes, Jeff Goldblum as Castor Troy.
He would have been an interesting choice for back in the day
for recasting Travolta.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
I watched
because they both have such like a distinct way of talking.
Yeah, I could see that going on. I watched a movie recently called Deep Cover, with what am I forgetting his name? Lawrence Fishburne, and it's also like a crime noir movie. It was pretty good. I want to rewatch it.
Yeah.
But Jeff Goldblum in the movie kind of plays like a corrupt like lawyer drug dealer type dude, and it's a very different role that I've seen from him. And he was really good in it.
And it's like that's what I'm like. You think about like Jeff Goldblum and Michael Keaton and Nicolas Cage and like all these crazy old head actors, and like who do we have now? Like Timothy Chalamet, Chris Pratt, and like these most boring people ever.
A lot of the actors that I can think of are like well-known faces are either drama, comedy, or horror people.
It's like, are you gonna like do like an impression of any of these guys, and like anyone gonna know what you're doing?
Yeah,
I don't know. I like these guys with like really distinct like ways of talking and being, like Christopher Walken and like, what's his name, Bruce Willis. I like these.
Who's
like
crazy now.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's sad. It's because like, do you know the whole like Red Letter Media thing? They've been making jokes about him having dementia for years, and now it's like actually like it came out, so it's actually true.
Yeah, I haven't looked a whole lot into it, but I've seen like some.
Yeah, he's had to retire. That's why he's been making so many like cheapo little blockbuster things, just because he's been trying to squirrel away as much money as possible for his family before his mind went before he just went so far that he couldn't do it anymore.
Damn, that's real sad.
It's sad, but it's better than most people get to retire.
True facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I feel like the space for like action movies of this type, of something like Face Off, where it's kind of like a mid budget. Like, what was the budget for Face Off?
I bet it was pretty high.
$80 million.
Okay.
But that's in
That's 1997
money. So I don't know how much, but yeah, I feel like even
It's pretty high.
adjusted for today, that's still like less than a Marvel movie.
Well, yeah, but budgets have gone insane.
Exactly. Yeah, but like the Marvel movie, Star Wars like thing, like the super big budget movie has kind of like absorbed like this type of action movie where it's like more
absolutely.
like, even though it's I was about to say grounded, even though this movie's very not grounded.
Yeah.
As far as like it taking place in something like close to reality.
There was that. What was that ambulance movie that Michael Bay recently did?
Oh, I didn't see that.
No one did.
And that's why they're not making them.
Yep. I think every now and then you get one, and it just doesn't look interesting because it's Michael Bay, and I don't want to see a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah, I think as far as like what action I say, I feel like the John Wick movies.
Yeah.
Are up there.
I guess that counts. Yeah.
As far as like what's in the
but
new.
That's also based on a comic.
No, it's not.
It is.
John Wick.
Yeah. I am 75% sure.
John Wick's.
Look that up, Jamie. I know the Artemis Hotel is definitely based on a comic.
1 second. I'm fairly confident that John Wick is original. Is John Wick original?
Let's see.
Is John Wick dead?
I could be wrong.
I'm pretty.
Maybe I dreamt that.
Let's see. It could very well be a comic. Created by. Is John Wick an original story? Is a fictional character created by American screenwriter Derek Kolstad, portrayed by Canadian actor Keanu Reeves.
Damn, I was wrong.
I'm pretty sure it's its own thing. Yeah, I know a lot of people just like kind of compare it to to a comic.
Make sure to edit out the part that I was wrong.
It's all good. I don't want to be proven wrong.
I don't want to be wrong.
Fucking what's it called? There's the Extraction movies on Netflix with
oh yeah,
with Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, that's directed by the guy, the stunt choreographer for, I think, Atomic Blonde.
Yes, I liked Atomic Blonde.
I like Atomic Blonde too. It's a little bit I have my problems with it, but I like the action a lot. Mm-hmm. That guy who directed that has been the stunt coordinator and like the choreographer for so many really good action movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, known for working with the Russo brothers
mm-hmm.
for the MCU. Yeah, I feel like the Russos haven't done an action movie in the MCU haven't done an MCU movie in a while. Captain America: Winter Soldier was my favorite MCU movie for a while, and a big part of that was because like all the fight scenes were practical and they were
super
really
punchy. I've never seen it.
Yeah, but it's not what we get nowadays.
I remember seeing the trailers and thinking they looked really cool. I like the fight, I like that 3-way fight scene between him, Captain America, and Iron Man.
Mm-hmm. That's Civil War, not Winter Soldier.
Fuck, I'm wrong again.
Same shit.
I was right for a really good streak, and now I've been wrong.
Same
over and
shit,
over
different
again.
day. It all blends together.
It's a gray action movie about superheroes.
I'm excited to see the Marvels, mostly just so I can have an opinion about it. The new, but yeah,
I'm going to take the lead from most of the internet and have an opinion on it, whether I've seen it or not.
Yeah, I'm finishing up Miss Marvel, the show right now.
Yeah, how's that?
With Amon Milani. It's pretty fun. Like she's a really entertaining, like protagonist. Like she's just like so Amon Villani, who plays Miss Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Can we get just real quick?
Yeah, sure.
She was like a fan.
Okay.
Like legit, it was like an open casting call.
Oh, okay.
It was her.
That's cool. That fits the character too, doesn't it?
Yeah, like the show is her first role. Literally, she like sent in like a video. Like,
is she actually good in it?
Yeah, no, she's good. I mean, like it's not like it's a super complicated thing as far as like
it's not a super challenging role.
She gets her superpowers. She has struggles with her family. Like she like struggles like being Muslim in America and whatnot.
Right.
And, like the prejudices that accompany that. Which I guess those are very complicated things, but it's an MCU show, so it's not going to get crazy.
It's going to mention it and be like, yeah, there it is. We mentioned it. Yay.
Yeah, like, but yeah, it's fun. And I've heard that she's the bright spot in the Marvels as far as like, so but no, it's a fun show.
Okay.
But back to Face Off. As far as like wrapping up thoughts on Face Off and John Woo, I mean, I guess what I want to ask now is like we never did figure out who would be our modern Face Off actors.
Yeah, that's the thing.
No one really fits the bill.
No one has enough personality.
Maybe
Everyone's so sterile now. Maybe like Ben Affleck. Yeah, exactly. That's what I got, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of people
Who is an actor that we know?
Tom Cruise
Yeah.
and someone else.
Yeah, I guess Tom Cruise could play like Sean Archer.
Yeah.
I don't know if he does have the range. He was really funny in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, I was about to say Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
I thought that his performance in that was going to lead to bigger and better things.
Yeah, I'd want him to do more stuff like that.
Yeah, but
because he's so good in that.
He's-
I didn't know it was him the first time I watched it.
He's locked into the whole Mission Impossible thing now. As far
He
as
plays one guy, and it's Tom Cruise. Let's see. What's Cillian Murphy? No, he's too good.
he's too good of an actor for this
Too
shit.
good for any of that. Who's like
You could
who's
ma-
in action movies? Like
could make it,
let's pick from like the Marvel stable.
You can make it a women-led face-off.
Okay.
Make it Charlize Theron. Speaking of Atomic Blonde,
okay.
and fucking Scarlett Johansson.
Rebel Wilson.
Rebel Wilson. Yes.
Kristen Wiig.
Yes, that'd be funny. It'd be like a goofy Paul Feig like thing.
I'd watch that.
Yeah, that'd
They're
be funny. Yeah, I feel you never see serious face swap movies.
No.
As far as like this is
This included.
oh yeah, that's true.
This does not take itself or it does
Yeah.
and it fails, but
Yeah, but
either way, it's very funny.
yeah, but I feel like this premise sticks within the realm of like family-friendly comedies.
Yeah.
and like sitcoms.
Yeah, swap places for a day.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's ambitious to say like let's take this premise and turn it into like a nuts and bolts sci-fi crime thriller where everything makes sense and there is no magic. It's all science. It's all explained. That's bold and ambitious, and I'm glad he made this movie. I just think it's goofy and funny.
Yeah. Yeah. What are we going to talk about next, bud?
Well, next
episode.
next movie?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Do you want me to like give a movie suggestion?
We can figure it out. I'm trying to think. We should definitely talk about something that doesn't have incest. We should leave that at the door for now. We can always come back to it.
Let's see. I have a Blu-ray of Free Fire.
Oh, we keep talking about Free Fire, and we should watch it as far as like keeping in the realm of
Let's
like
see.
the modern action.
You know what? Bronson would be good for this show. 'Cause
Oh.
there's a lot you can talk about after watching that
I haven't
movie.
seen Bronson. This is going to be a dumb question. I know nothing about Charles Bronson. Is he like a fighter?
It's not even about the actor. It is about the less you know about the guy going into it, the better.
Interesting.
He's the most violent prisoner the UK has ever seen.
Jesus.
Yeah, but it's honestly like it's Tom Hardy's like breakout role for a reason. Like he's really good in it, and it's like a lot funnier than you think it's gonna be. So yeah, I think that there's a few movies I could suggest. There's a lot of good stuff I've seen recently.
Maybe we could just watch a bunch of boxing movies. Now I'm just thinking of boxing
That
movies.
too. He does fight.
I need to watch Raging
He
Bull.
fights a dog.
I always wanted to watch Warrior.
Warrior.
With Tom Hardy. Southpaw.
I love Raging Bull. I
And-
like Rocky.
The Wrestler, even though that's not boxing.
I've never seen The Wrestler.
Yeah.
With my board.
My board. That's all Mickey works on for. Yeah, no, I think we're at a good place to wrap up. Is there any final thoughts on John Woo Face Off before we
I loved Hard Boiled.
Hard Boiled? Yeah.
Hard Boiled was super fun. Face Off was super fun. They're fun in different ways. If you just want to see like masterfully done action, watch Hard Boiled.
Yeah.
If you want to see how Hollywood kills that masterfully done action, watch Face Off.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, Face Off is really funny though.
Yeah. Hard Boiled definitely is one of the best pure action movies ever, for sure. Like it is definitely like that's my bar for now. And definitely watching Face Off afterwards did a disservice to that element of it that I didn't expect. and I'm excited to watch more Hong Kong-based John Woo movies because of it.
Yeah.
So
for
yeah.
sure.
Anyway, I think that's gonna wrap it up. It's past midnight. I should have said that it was
Hey,
midnight.
Midnight Movie Gang.
Midnight Movie Gang. I'm real tired, so
It's okay.
yeah. So
The zombie, the vampire, and the werewolf will watch the movies for us.
exactly. Anyway, have a nice night, y'all.
You too.
Catch us on the next one.
So, here we go. With child expectations and complexes, the police are searching for James Thomas, believed to be the lover of Dave Williams, and her partner in the horrible murder of Walter. Grant everybody that I'm here to hold on. Oh, please tell me where this going. Please tell me. Sorry, I don't know. How long is it? Mile and a half? What could I got in here? 3 tickets to Albany on 6 o'clock train tonight. What do you think? Special agent, special agent.